when we collect soil samples, there are two different types of soil samples that we collect. One is there can be many accidents or um, uh, many uh, uh, mismatch in the accuracy when we are collecting soil samples. So we always don't get very correct samples or undisturbed samples. Technically we tell it is undisturbed sample. We don't get always undisturbed samples. There are situations where we get only disturbed samples. So samples types are of two types. One is disturbed sample and another is undisturbed sample. When we take a disturbed sample, uh, uh, it completely the nature of the soil as well as the color of the soil, the mineral content of the soil, everything will be damaged from its natural form. Everything will be damaged or destroyed. When you take disturbed samples, the natural properties will remain intact. It will not be disturbed. The mineral constituents will not be disturbed. The color of the samples will not be mixed or disturbed. So as from this itself we can know disturbed samples cannot be used in laboratory to find the main engineering properties like shear strength or permeability. We can't find that. But only undisturbed soils can be used in laboratory to find its important engineering properties like shear strength or permeability. Then what is the use of collecting disturbed samples? When you take disturbed samples, though its natural properties or the natural mineral content get altered, there will be some representation of what soil it is. Like we can get an idea of what soil it is. So it is also called as representative samples. It represents what soil is. Maybe not the exact results, maybe it gives some ideas. But you can use that disturbed samples for finding specific gravity or finding the particle size distribution. We can use those for finding the preliminary index properties of the soil. The disturbed samples can be representative samples. Sometimes the representative it cannot represent at all. Totally the soil might be damaged and mashed up. In such cases there is no use of disturbed samples. Then those samples are called non-representative samples. Those are called non-representative samples. So samples are two types. They are disturbed samples. What is a disturbed sample? The soil structure, the natural mineral structure is totally destroyed, and it depends upon the what method of boring we are going to use. For example, when you use wash boring, completely chopped and completely mixed with water, so that sample will be different. When you go for percussion drilling, the sample is completely pulverized, so that natural structure will be obviously destroyed. So it depends on what kind of boring tool you are using for excavation of soil. So there are in disturbed samples there are two types: representative samples and non-representative samples. We can use representative samples for identification purposes. Non-representative samples are completely of no use. They are non-representative samples. When you take undisturbed samples, their original mineral composition and the structure will be preserved. There will not be any alteration. They are intact. So it can be used in lab test for finding engineering properties like strength and consolidation and permeability. So these are examples for undisturbed samples. These are undisturbed samples. We collect up as it is, soil as it is. These are disturbed samples. When we collect it using a spade, or when you use some samplers to collect soil samples, they are disturbed samples. Here they are undisturbed samples. Okay. Next part is sampler. Sampler. What is a sampler? Samples are of two types, disturbed, undisturbed. Sampler is different. SAMPLER. Sampler. We know that we will bore the soil. After boring or drilling the soil, it is our responsibility to collect the soil samples from the soil. So we need some equipments for that, and those are called samplers. We can't put our hole in a 6-meter hole. We can't put our hand inside a 6-meter borehole or a 12-meter borehole and collect the soil samples. It is impossible. Or we cannot put a spoon inside a 6-meter 12-meter borehole and collect the soil samples. So we need some tools to collect the soil samples from the deepest part of the boreholes. So for those equipments are called samplers. You can see the cross sectional image of a sampler which is used. Actually, when you take a sampler எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, it will be like imagine like a flask மாதிரி you can imagine. Flask in all the hot water வைக்கிற flask பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, the flask will be having உள்ளாடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா there will be a glassy type texture. ஒரு finish வச்சுருப்பாங்க, so that it will remain hot. The sample will remain hot inside. So there will be some glassy இது வெளியில் வந்து for ஈஸியாக கேரி பண்ணணுங்கிறதுக்காக plastic or fiber plastics will be given on the outside. So similarly there will be the opening at the one end. There will be opening at one end. Similarly, when you take a sampler, the sampler will have these things. One is the opening part. The opening part that is called as cutting shoe, that we can call it as cutting shoe. You can see the bottom, the cutting shoe, and in the உள்ள இருக்கிற டியூப், உள்ள இருக்கிற அந்த glassy part you can imagine as sampling tube. And மேலே வந்து they will be having air. Above the sampling tube there is some space that will be vacuum filled space, and above that space we have air vent and ball valve. Air vent and ball valve எதுக்காக கொடுத்துருக்காங்கன்னா, 12 meters below the ground level or 6 meters below the ground level, the sample is very deep. When the sample is deep, most 6 meter 12 meter போனதுமே we will get the water table. வாட்டர் டேபிள் இருக்கிறதுனால சாம்பிள் வந்து வாட்டர் டேபிளோட மிக்ஸ் ஆகியிருக்கும், வாட்டரோட மிக்ஸ் ஆகியிருக்கும். ஸோ we have to retrieve only the soil sample by neglecting the water. How will you do that? So for that purposes the air vent and ball valve will be there. The ball valve வந்து it will allow only the soil sample inside and take away the water from it. அந்த ball valve இருக்கிறதுனால only the soil can go inside, water cannot go inside. So ball valves and air vents are there for that. அதுக்கு மேலே there will be a thread for a connection to the drill rod. You can connect it to the drill rod. In the last class we have seen we will be drilling using the drill rod which is connected to the chisels or whatsoever. So the drilling rod கீழே இருக்கக்கூடிய சாப்பிங் பிட்டை எடுத்துட்டு they will be connecting this samplers கனெக்ட் பண்ணி விட்டு உள்ளே இறக்கி சாம்பிளை எடுப்பாங்க. ஸோ சாம்பிளை எடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா அதுவும் கொஞ்சம் டெப்த்துக்கு போய் எடுத்துகிட்டு வரணும். ஸோ ஃபார் தேட் we have the cutting tube with the cutting shoe. Okay, so all samplers have specifications. For example, what can we say? All things have specification. For all medical equipments there are specifications. For example, when they take blood, அந்த இன்ஜெக்ஷனோட கெப்பாசிட்டி வேறு இருக்கும். 100 ml. When you go for insulin powder இன்ஜெக்ஷன்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப தென் இன்ஜெக்ஷன்ஸாக இருக்கும். நீங்கள் வெயினில் தான் போடணும்னு கிடையாது. டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஸ்பெசிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் ஆர் தேர் ஃபார் different equipments. When you take a cutting tool, cutting knife, everything has some specifications. இவ்வளோ விட்டு இவ்வளோ லென்த்தில் தான் இருக்கணும், அப்போ தான் அது கரெக்டான ரிசல்ட்டை கொடுக்கும். ஸோ everything has specifications. Similarly, samplers have specifications or certain requirements, and there are 7 types of requirements for a good sampler. The requirements are area ratio, inside clearance, outside clearance, recovery ratio, inner wall friction, design of non-return valve, and method of applying force. So we'll see one by one, and in this the first 3 are very important: area ratio, inside clearance, and outside clearance. So the same picture I have shown here, the below we have cutting edge and above we have sampling tube. Cutting edge will cut the soil and the sample will go inside and it will be collected in the sampling tube. And பார்த்தீங்கன்னா the cutting edge they have inner diameter and outer diameter. The inner diameter of the cutting edge is D1 and outer diameter of the cutting edge is D2, and above the cutting edge is the sampling tube. When you take a sampling tube, the inner diameter is D3 and the outer diameter is D4. Now using this we have formulas. Area ratio. What is area ratio? Is D2 square minus D1 square divided by D1 into 100, which is, sorry, D2, the formula is wrong here. D2 square minus D1 square divided by D1 square, which is also D1 square. Area ratio, the formula is D2 square minus D1 square divided by D1 square into 100. So the cutting edge oda area, that is area ratio. Area ratio should be equal to, it represents the amount of soil displaced for collecting very good soil samples or undisturbed soil samples. The area ratio should be less than 10%. If it is more than 10%, then the soil is obviously, we can collect only disturbed samples. Important for while we are choosing a sampler for collecting soil samples, we should note the area ratio, which is D2 square minus D1 square by D1 square into 100. D1 and D2 are inner and outer diameter of the cutting edge, and the value of the area ratio should be less than 10%. And the next is inside clearance. What is inside clearance? The inner diameters ratio. What is the inner diameter of the sampling tube? D3. What is the inner diameter of the cutting edge? D1. So அதை வச்சு we will be finding inside clearance. D3 minus D1 divided by D1 into 100. And the inside clearance value should be between 0.5 to 0.3. It should be between 0.5 to 0.3. 0.5 to 3. If it is less than 0.5 or if it is greater than 3, then you can collect only disturbed samples. And outside clearance. Now what are the outer diameters? D2 and D4. D2 is the outer diameter of the cutting edge and D4 is the outer diameter of the sampling tube. So the ratio of those outer diameters will give you the outside clearance. So outside clearance is D2 minus D4 divided by D4 into 100, and the outside clearance values lies between 0 to 2%. You should memorize these range. Area ratio should be less than 10. Inside clearance should be between 0.5 to 3 and outside clearance should be less between 0 to 2%. So this is about the first 3 requirement. Fourth requirement is recovery ratio. What is recovery ratio? Okay, sampler will have a particular length. For example, this சாம்பிளிங் டியூப்பில் ஃபுல்லாகவே சாம்பிள் வந்து ஆக்குப்பை பண்ணும். ஸோ சாம்பிளிங் டியூபோட லென்த்து தான் சாம்பிளரோட எவ்வளோ டோட்டல் லென்த் ஆஃப் த சாம்பிள் வந்து சாம்பிள் அதான் லென்த் ஆஃப் த டோட்டல் சாம்பிளர். So length of the total sampler will be there, but actually the entire length of the sampling tube layum the soil will not be filled. Soil full entire length of the sampling tube lay fill agadu, only particular length varaikum da fill agum based upon the pressure that you apply, based upon the type of the soil. So evlo soil வெளியில எடுக்கிறீங்களோ எவ்வளோ லென்த் ஆஃப் த சாயில் ரெக்கவரி பண்ணுறீங்களோ divided by the actual length of the sampler, when you put that ratio will give you the recovery ratio. If it is 100%, that is 1, 100% na LR is equal to 1 ன்னு அர்த்தம். Recovery ratio is 1 or 100%, it is a good recovery. For the entire length you have collected over length of sample, so that is a good recovery. If not, if it is less than 1, we can understand the soil is very compressed. Soil is compressed, or we can understand the soil is very stiff or compressed. If it is greater than 1 or greater than 100%, then we can understand that is soil is soft or soil is swelling nature with water. வாட்டரோட இருக்குது அப்படின்னு we can understand. So recovery ratiosலேருந்து we can understand idea of what kind of soil, in what state the soil is. Next is inside wall friction. When we push the soil into the when we push the sampler into the soil, there will be lot of friction between the soil and the sampler. There will be a lot of friction. To avoid that, we should lubricate the sampler by putting oil inside it. By adding oil inside it, we can avoid the friction between the walls of the sampling tube and the sample, so that sample will be smooth on outside. Design of non-return valve. We have seen the ball valve. Why ball valve is given? The ball valve will collect only the sample and it will avoid the water to come inside the sample. So that is the main purpose. For also வாட்டரோட சாம்பிள் இருக்கும்போது சாம்பிளரை உள்ளே அனுப்புறது ரிஸ்கியானது, பிகாஸ் the water and the soil should be separated, as well as the soil உள்ள சாம்பிளுக்குள்ளே கலெக்ட் ஆன சாயில் வந்து வெளியில் போக வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது, ரிவர்ஸ் டைரக்ஷனில் போக வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது ஃப்ரம் த sampler. When the soil is with water, there is an opportunity for the soil to go in the reverse direction. Instead of coming inside the sampler, it may go outside of the sampler. To avoid all these risky problems, we have non-return valves. The non-return valves or the ball valves will allow the water, air and slurry to escape quickly. And next is the method of applying force. When the force, how you insert the sampler is very important. We cannot apply the sampler as it is. நீங்கள் blood injection போடும்போது பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, they cannot அப்படியே போட்டு அந்த ஹேமர் சுற்றியெல்லாம் ஆணியை சுற்றி வச்சு அடிக்கிற மாதிரி அடிக்க மாட்டாங்க, அப்படி இறக்க மாட்டாங்க நமக்குள்ளே இன்ஜெக்ஷன் எடுக்கும்போது. When they put injection in our body, they will apply it very slowly. ரொம்ப ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக ஒரே ப்ரெஸ் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, they will be applying very slowly. Similarly, by a gentle push they will be applying. Similarly, when you collect soil samples, the soil sampler should be pushed slowly and it should not be forced or it should not be driven like driving nails inside the wall. அந்த மாதிரி ட்ரில் பண்ணி ட்ரைவ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. இட் ஷுட் பி புஷ்ட் ஜென்ட்லி, லைக் எப்படி இன்ஜெக்ஷன் போடுறாங்களோ அதே மாதிரி ஸ்லோவாக இட் ஷுட் பி புஷ்ட் அண்ட் ஷுட் நாட் பி ட்ரிவன். so that you'll get good soil samples. So these are the qualities or the requirements of the obtaining the good sample or undisturbed sample. So the next is types of soil sampler. And there is a very confused question in the previous batches. Previous batches la exam la they'll be completely confused. Sometimes the question is, what are the types of samples? When they ask samples, samples, only disturbed undisturbed எழுதணும். types of samplers கேட்டால் இனி நான் நடத்த போகிறத எழுதணும். types of sampler are different and type of samples are different. Always you should be aware of the question. Okay, types of soil sampler. When you take soil sampler, we have 5 different types, or basically 3 different types: open drive sampler, piston sampler, rotary sampler. In open drive sampler we have 3 types: split spoon sampler, scraper bucket sampler, and Shelby tubes and thin walled sampler. இதில் வந்து ஓப்பன் ஸ்ப்ளிட் ஸ்பூன் சாம்பிளர், ஸ்க்ராப்பர் பக்கெட் சாம்பிளர் ரெண்டுமே டிஸ்டர்ப்டு சாம்பிள்ஸ் தான் கிடைக்கும். வி டோன்ட் கெட் அன்டிஸ்டர்ப்டு சாம்பிள்ஸ். அன்டிஸ்டர்ப்ட் சாம்பிள்ஸ் நமக்கு கிடைக்காது. samples are disturbed in case of split spoon sampler and scraper bucket sampler. In all the other 3, thin walled Shelby tube and thin walled sampler, piston sampler and rotary sampler, the samples are obtained by gentle principles, and they are completely undisturbed samples. Undisturbed samples நமக்கு piston rotary இல்ல கிடைக்கும். The rotary sampler is mainly for rock sample. core drilling மாதிரியே தான் இருக்கும். For obtaining rocky samples we go for rotary sampler, and all the other are used for soil samples or gravelly soils க்கு யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். And second sampler, scraper bucket sampler, is mainly used for only the sandy soils which are present in water. For example, if you want to collect some samples deep from the ocean ஓட டீப்ல இருந்து or sea டீப்ல டெப்த்ல இருந்து if you want to collect soil samples, it is very tough to collect soil samples from the bed of the ocean. So in those in those kind of soil, sandy soils from deep waters, if you want to collect samples, then it is very tough to collect only the soil from the water. So in those cases we go for scraper bucket sampler. So there are different types of samplers. First 2 will give disturbed samples, and the remaining 3 will give undisturbed samples. And scraper bucket is for sandy soils present in water, and rotary sampler is specifically for rocky samples. So we will see one by one. This is another important question. Type of sampler, you can expect this in university questions. 5 samplers in any 2 samplers they will ask, or they will ask us specifically explain split spoon sampler and all. Okay, those split spoon samplers give disturbed samples. Most of our projects, or most of the projects in Chennai, will be using split spoon sampler because it is very easy to use, cheaper and fast when compared to the other samplers. இந்த sampler எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, you can see the picture here. இப்படி தான் அந்த sampler இருக்கும். As the name indicates, you can divide the, or you can open the sampler into 2. Like you can fix the sampler. Like இதை ஓப்பன் பண்ணலாம், சென்டரில் ஓப்பனிங்கோடு இருக்கும். You can open into 2. What can be the best example? You can open the sampler into 2 as shown in the picture. The sampling tube இருக்கும், which is split it can be splitted. எதுக்காக இந்த ஸ்பிளிட்டிங் பிரின்சிபல் கொடுத்துருக்காங்கன்னா, யூ கேன் டேக் த சாம்பிள் ஆஸ் இட் இஸ் ஃப்ரம் தட், அதுலேருந்து அப்படியே சாம்பிளரை எக்ஸ்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக ஈஸியாக இருக்கணுங்கிறதுக்காக இந்த ஸ்ப்ளிட்டிங் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அண்ட் யூ கேன் ஃபிக்ஸ் இட் வித் த நட்ஸ் அண்ட் த போல்ஸ். அண்ட் அதுக்கு இந்த லெஃப்ட் சைடில் இருக்கிறது வந்து மேலே கீழே இருக்குதுல்ல, those are cutting shoes. Cutting shoes, as I said earlier, cutting shoes and sampling tube. This is the sampling tube and those are cutting shoes that will be fixed at the end of the sampler. And the sampler has some specifications. As we saw earlier, we should maintain the area ratio, we should maintain the inside clearance, and we should maintain the outside clearance. So the dimensions are very important. When you take the driving shoe or the cutting shoe, it is 75 mm long, which is 7.5 centimeter in length. 7.5 centimeter in length. And the steel tube is 45 centimeter in length, and it can be cut into two halves longitudinally. And couplers will be there. Why? What for couplers? Because we are going to attach the sampling tube below the drilling rod. அப்போ தான் உள்ளே போய் எடுத்துகிட்டு வரும் சாம்பிள். ஸோ the drilling rod ஓட கனெக்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக we have couplers. The couplers are of 15 centimeter length. And as I said earlier, we have check valves or ball valves and air vents we have. Those specifications are given. It's the most commonly used sampler for obtaining disturbed samples. It has three parts: the driving shoe, or cutting shoe or cutting edge, as well as the steel tube or the sampling tube. The dimensions are given, and a coupler. These are the three parts of a split spoon sampler. And you can see this picture. You can see the two halves of the cutting shoe, and this is the cutting edge. On the right side we have the cutting edge, and the left side we can see the collected soil sample from the collected soil sample on the extreme left extreme. You can, the top extreme, top one shows the soil sample collected from this split spoon sampler. Okay, how it is collected? After drilling the borehole by either wash boring or by either auger boring or by any method, as we saw in the last class, after putting the borehole, the drill rod is fixed with, the bit will be taken from the drill rod and it will be connected with the sampler, and the sampler is gently pushed inside the borehole. It should not be driven. As we saw earlier, it should not be driven, it should be gently pushed inside the borehole. But split spoon sampler la we will be driving inside the borehole by applying hammer pressure. அதனால தான் disturbed samples நமக்கு கிடைக்குது. Undisturbed samples we won't be getting in a split spoon sampler, because we drive by using hammer the sampler inside. So that's why you don't get undisturbed samples in case of a split spoon sampler. After that you drive it, and then the sampler is twisted inside the borehole so that side la irukka samples will be smeared off, and only the samples will be collected and it will be taken outside. And you can split the split tube, and the sample is taken out. And after taking the samples, it should not be அதை அப்படியே ரஃபாக ஹேண்டில் பண்ண முடியாது, உடஞ்சிரும். ஸோ அது உடையாமல் இருக்கிறதுக்காக immediately they will cover it or coat it with some wax, or பழைய காலத்தில் wax was used to coat the samples. intact அப்படியே லேபுக்கு எடுத்துகிட்டு போகிறதுக்காக they will be coating it with some plastic covers வச்சு கோட் பண்ணி ஒரே லாகாக எடுத்துகிட்டு லேபுக்கு it is sealed and transported. If the sample contains sand inside it, and if it is below the water table, then we need some special kind of sampler which is attached to the split tube, and that is called spring core spring core catcher device. Now what is spring core catcher? We can see it. This is a split spoon sampler with the sample inside. You can see the sample inside it. அது அப்படியே glass coatings ஏதாவது கொடுத்து glass cover வச்சு wrap பண்ணி it will be taken to the laboratory. These are spring core catchers. Spring core catchers எப்படி இருக்கும்னா நம்ம fingers மாதிரி இருக்கும், like our fingers, but they are made of plastics, and when it goes near the sample it is opened. அப்படியே ஓப்பன் ஆகும், அப்படியே சாம்பிளை ஹோல்ட் பண்ணும், மேலே வரும். இந்த ஓப்பனிங்ஸ் இருக்கிறதுனால, due to the openings in the spring core catcher, the water will not enter inside, only the soil will be entered inside this domes of this spring core catcher. Spring core catcher only collects the soil samples and leaves the water outside due to the openings inside it. So this is kind of used for collecting samples which are below the water table. That is the main use of spring core catcher. Second type is scraper bucket sampler. As you can see, this scraper bucket sampler is not only used for collecting soil samples, it is used in collecting food samples also. Food industries la food samples collect பண்ணவும் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. In what kind of cases scraper bucket is used? As I said earlier, when you want to collect soil from the deep ocean beds, then it is very impossible to collect only the soil samples because soil is sandy, as well as water is also so much there. So to collect only the soil away from the water, then we have to use this kind of soil sampler. Also, if the soil contains more number of pebbles or small stones or rocks, we need only the soil. அப்படிங்கிறப்போ we go for scraper bucket sampler. It's பார்க்குறதுக்கு ரொம்ப சின்னதாக இருக்கும். The size is very small and it has a small opening on its sides. It will allow only the sample to be collected inside and water will not go inside. This is a modernized form of a scraper bucket sampler. The pebbles also, when it is there, we go for this scraper bucket sampler. It is used for cohesionless soils below the water table also. In the small openings, only the samples are collected. However, the samples are disturbed and we don't get undisturbed samples. Next is the Shelby tube sampler. Shelby tube and thin-walled samplers are almost similar, but there are some differences. What are Shelby tube? They are thin-walled sampler, and why they are called thin-walled? The diameters are very small, so they are thin-walled samplers made up of steel, and the inner diameter is outside diameter is maximum and can be 12.5 centimeter, and the area ratio is less than 15, and the inside clearance is within the range, which is 0.5 to 3, and because of this you will get undisturbed samples. And the length of the tube is 5 to 10 times the diameter. There are two lengths available in a Shelby tube. For sandy soil, you can use the smallest length dia ratio sampler, and for clay samples you can use 10 to 15 times of the diameter sampler. That is, length is equal to 10 into dia or 15 into dia. That is the formula. For different soils, we have different length of sampler, and the inner diameter, as I said earlier. Okay. The sampler is attached to a drilling rod, and it is lowered to the bottom, and here the sampler is gently pushed, so you can collect undisturbed samples. Whereas in split tube or split spoon sampler, we will be applying hammer pressure. Here we won't apply hammer pressure, it is gently pushed inside. with so when we put pushing inside, it is gently rotated also and twisted so that சைடில் இருக்கக்கூடிய சாயில் வந்து கட் ஆகும், as well as you can collect the samples in a very rapid motion. So the care should be taken while pushing the tubes. Okay, the tube is rotated to shear off the sample from the sides, and the sampler is taken and taken out of the tube, and then it is sealed by plastic covers, and then it is transported. You can get undisturbed samples of clay as well as sand. So this is the Shelby tube or a thin walled sampler. Shelby tube is a type of thin walled sampler because the dimensions are very small. The next is the piston sampler. Piston sampler is very similar to collecting blood samples. இன்ஜெக்ஷனில் வந்து உள்ள ஒரு பிஸ்டன் இருக்கும், அந்த பிஸ்டன் இஸ் pushed first கீழே எண்டில் இருக்கும். Similarly here you can see in this picture at step 1 completely it is pushed inside. First injectionல இருக்க needle they will put inside our human body or vein-ல வந்து போடுவாங்க. அதே மாதிரி completely the piston is down inside this first step. Second stageல அந்த piston அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக மேலே இழுப்பாங்க. அப்போ என்ன ஆகும், உள்ளே இருக்க blood veins-ல இருக்க blood வந்து will be taken inside the injection. So the same principle is for the piston sampler. Completely inside கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக the piston is lifted, and third stepல அந்த piston மேலே இருக்கும். ஓகே, அந்த piston மேலே இருக்கும், அந்த கேப் இருக்குல்ல, அந்த கேப்பில் வந்து soil samples will be okay. The piston will be there, needle will be injected inside. அது அந்த ஸ்டேஜ் தான் 3 and 4. You can see the fourth ஸ்டேஜில் கம்ப்ளீட்டில் நீடில் மட்டும் உள்ளே போய் சாம்பிள் அப்படியே எடுத்துட்டு மேலே வரும். பிஸ்டன் வந்து ஒரு பாயிண்டில் லாக் ஆயிரும். When you take I'll tell it once again. In the stage 1 completely the sampler is pushed inside. The stage 2 only the sampler load piston will be fixed at the bottom, and the remaining part is taken outside. After that மறுபடியும் மேலேருந்து ப்ரெஷர் கொடுக்கணும். ப்ரெஷர் கொடுக்கும்போது the piston-ஐ சுற்றி இருக்கக்கூடிய cutting edge will be going inside and collecting the soil samples. Again if you drag along with the piston and the sample, the sampler will be coming outside. So this is the piston sampler. So it consists of a piston which is with the piston will be connected to the drilling rods, and the lower end of the sampler is kept closed with the piston, and only the sampling tube will be lower inside the borehole. And after some point the piston will be fixed, only the cutting edge or the tube will be going inside and collecting the samples, and the sample is locked. After collecting the soil samples, you will release or will pull the piston, so that along with the piston and the sampling tube the sample will be coming outside. Why the piston is used in this case is, again to collect good quality of samples, also to apply gently or to collect samples in a gentle way or in a pushed way. Then we can go for so that we can get undisturbed soil samples, we need a piston inside. Also it will help to avoid the collection of samples along with the water. It is used for soft soils and saturated sands. Soft clay is very risky to collect, as well as sand is also very that too in water the sample is very difficult to collect. So we can, those difficult places we can collect good samples by using piston sampler. And the last is Denison sampler. Denison sampler is same as core drilling. Core drilling la we saw outer barrel, inner barrel. Similarly here we have, it is a double walled sampler. It has outer barrel, inner barrel. The outer barrel will cut inside. Outer barrel is nothing but outer cylinder, inner cylinder. the outer barrel will be sharp and it will be cutting inside the soil, whereas the inner sample will be collecting the inner barrel will be collecting the soil samples. So as it is collects the inner sampler, the inner barrel should be coated with small liners, and it has core retainers. What are core retainers? Rocky samples are collected. Similar to spring core catcher, we have retainers. You can see in this picture. Similar to the right side, you can see the picture. It has spring core catchers. Similar to that, here they have core catchers for collecting rock samples. We can collect very hard soils, but we cannot use for gravelly soils, but we can collect rocks in Denison sampler. And soft soils we can't collect using the Denison sampler. And last is hand carved or chunk samples. Chunk samples or hand carved samples. What are chunk samples? Now from open pits we collect hand samples or chunk samples. எப்படி கலெக்ட் பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா, you should cut the sides of the, or drill or cut away the sides of the sample which you are collecting. You can see the man சைடில் இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் கட் பண்ணிவிட்டு he is cutting only a block of the sample. ஸோ இந்த சாம்பிள் அப்படியே வெளியில் எடுக்கும்போது it may collapse. So to avoid collapsing, after smearing off or after shearing off the sides of the sample, soil sample, you should coat the soil samples with paraffin or wax. You should coat it so that அந்த அப்படியே அதை எடுத்து all the four sides are covered with plywood or ஒரு பாக்ஸுக்குள்ளே அதை அப்படியே வச்சிடணும். It should be kept inside a box and then it should be transported to the laboratory. In the laboratory, inside the box we have the sample and on the sides we have the paraffin or the wax. அந்த அவுட்டரில் இருக்க பாரஃபினை கட் பண்ணி உள்ளே இருக்க சாம்பிளை மட்டும் வெளியில் எடுக்கணும். ஸோ this is how sample is collected in a chunk sample, or in an undisturbed way we can collect hand samples also. When no other equipments are available and you want only small amount of soil, then you can go for chunk samples or hand carved samples. So from test pit, if you want to collect samples, they are chunk samples or hand carved samples. And so we have in the pit you should isolate the soil, that it should be excavated. After that it should be removed carefully and it should be kept inside a box, and it's an open-ended box, and it should be and the space between the box and the sample should be coated with paraffin or wax. After that it is taken to the laboratory, and using the knife we will be cutting the paraffin and or the wax, and it will be taken out and the test is done. So this gives a undisturbed sample from a why wax is coated, so that the soil will remain intact when transporting. Also the moisture content of the soil will be naturally present inside. There will be no loss of moisture content, so that we can understand the natural moisture content of the soil as it is. So sample dry ஆகாமல் இருக்கிறதுக்காகவும் you will be coating this paraffin wax. The samples are undisturbed.